like it.
Love
There
it.
you go.
So I'll go to sit here and be quiet as Kai talks for an hour.
Absolutely.
so.
Welcome back and subscribe. It's actually my master plan to trick you guys into being on my podcast. All right. So when do we? I mean, I know we're recording now. I'm already fucking it up. See how good I am at this?
Have you ever seen Tommy Lee Jones do an interview?
No.
So Tommy Lee Jones is notoriously, from like Hollywood Reporter standards, the worst interview in history, because they will literally ask him a question like, "So Tommy, how do you enjoy your new film that just came out?" It's good.
He's
and that's like,
oh, no.
These 1 or 2 word answers, and that's it. And they're trying to get like more information out of him, and he's sitting there like straight faced, like he's being interviewed by a cop. And like all of his interviews are like that, and people are like, "I never want to interview this guy again."
Oh no,
we should do that for this. Like,
we should
just
you like music. It's fun.
It's great.
Music is fun. The end.
All right.
Imagine. Ew.
Imagine. Exactly that.
Oh God, that sounds like a
good
nightmare.
Song. Asshole guy though. So good morning. Thank you for tuning into this week's episode of IBD. We got a good one for you today, and I'm excited. We're gonna have a party. So with me, I'm Kai, if you didn't know, and with me today are Shy and Jay, and of course, I almost said fucking Shay. And with us, of course, is Jason, who's hiding out like a little closet gremlin, because he thought that I could handle this, and I clearly can't, Nemo. So I'm actually really excited about today's episode because we get to talk more about how we're multifaceted people who have more than just one characteristic. And today, the characteristic that we get to talk about is that we all happen to be musicians, including the gremlin.
Hey.
So cool. So cool.
I'm super excited about it. So I did want to ask you guys, and I know that this is going to be hopefully not a Tommy Lee? Is that what the fuck his name was?
Tommy Lee Jones. Yeah.
Tommy Lee Jones. I'm great at this.
Music is fantastic.
Music is fucking lovely. Okay, yes. Thank you for listening to this week's episode. I can't do this. So I guess, Shy, I'll ask you first since you're back. Yay. Welcome back.
So happy.
When did you first discover your deep love for music?
Ooh. Wow. Okay. So, music has it's like baked into the culture. So like, I come from a country that's in Central America, and the side of the country that my family is from is facing the Caribbean. So all the music that they listen to, it's a Hispanic country, so they listen to all the different types of Spanish music, but they also listen to like reggae and like soca and like dance hall and all that stuff. And my uncle was a DJ when I was little. So, and he still lived with his mom. So that means he was at my grandma's house, and we went to my grandma's house every other weekend. So I would literally just hang out in his room while he was mixing or transferring CDs onto his computer, because he had to do that then. So I would hang out with him while he did that, or I would help him clean his CDs, or put them in he had like a bunch of those CD albums, so I would help him like take them out of the cases and like so I was always around that type of music and always like singing along, and like just it was just baked into my brain every other weekend, you know. But I didn't really start discovering my own, like, this is what I like, until probably when I was given my first CD player, because then I could go pick out like my own CDs. I go be like, I want this one. So my first CD actually was a Hilary Duff album.
Hell yeah. We love her.
I love her so much. It was Metamorphosis. It was the first CD I ever owned. And I played the crap out of it, and somehow there's no scratches in it. So, and I'm 25. And I got that CD when I was 8. And there's still no scratches in it.
That's an accomplishment. I don't care. Like, hang that up or something. Maybe not hang it up, but like, look at this.
I know, I want a medal. But yeah, after that it was history. It was literally just like every time we went to Walmart or like anywhere. Walmart used to have that bin with like the $5 CDs.
Yeah.
I used to just comb through that thing, and just like my grandma would let me pick out two every time we went to Walmart. So that's what I did. I used to just dig through the the CD bin and come back with two CDs. And my sister and I had this thing where every time we bought a new CD, we had to listen to it in its entirety. So we would come home, open it, put it in the CD player, and we wouldn't skip to like the single that was on the radio, you know? We would just let the whole album play. And we had to. The first time we listened to every album, that's what we did. And we still, I still do it. I don't know if she still does. But that's how we listen to albums. My uncle taught me that, and that's just what I've always done. And that was just like my love for music. I didn't start playing instruments till middle school because I thought it was impossible. But that's how my music love began, you know, CDs.
I love it.
Yeah.
All right, Jay. Think you can follow that? Just kidding.
No.
I mean, it's not
I'm just gonna start
I
mine
was
out.
kidding.
I was gonna just start mine out and say I'm a weirdo, and this is my weird love for music. When I was a kid, I didn't really like music all that much until I seen one thing, and this one thing actually started making me like music because it caught my attention. Like music had never caught my attention before when I was up until a certain age, because a lot of the music that I listened to, I had to listen to. Like I didn't really want to. It was a lot of like people wailing and moaning and crying and belting and screaming, and it's just like, oh, this is awful. But then one day, and this is again because I'm weird, I caught pro wrestling for the first time, and there was a song that just came on. There was a wrestler who his music hit, and I was like, oh, what is that? And they were like, oh, that's so and so's entrance theme, and I'm like, oh, and I'm like, can I listen to that again? They're like, oh, they only play it when he comes out and like when he leaves. And I'm like, oh, that sucks. And then I found out like they made like the CDs of like the wrestlers' themes. And then I started like listening to it. And I'm like, I like this. I like this. I like this. Like, this is cool. So like after a while, it was just like I found out I leaned more toward like rock and more toward like that not top 40s, I don't know what you call it, but like more like the Creed, Nickelback back in the day type of music. Like that was more of my style, and I absolutely loved it. And after that, I got into I was like, I need something to kind of calm down. And there's a station here in Philadelphia. Well, it used to be here in Philadelphia, but now it's on like iHeartRadio. It's called WJJZ, and that's like jazz. And that was like my second love for music. And like finding those kind of genres, because in my household, it was like usually like old school gospel played like majority of the time. So it was like Mahalia Jackson and like James Cleveland. And for me, that's just too many older people yelling into a microphone for me to be able to deal with. Yes. Like we still tease my mom about it to this day because my mom wanted like speakers. She wanted like massive speakers and a subwoofer. I'm like, Mom, you don't need to hear Master the TV like at like 5,000 decibels. Like nobody wants to hear that all day.
You wanted to worship
like
so that the Lord could hear. He's all the way up there.
You didn't want to make him deaf. So like that's like that was entirely too loud. And I like that just wasn't my style. So like I found like and this is like late 90s, early 2000s. So like Creed, Nickelback, Alter Bridge, all of those kind of bands. And then it was like jazz. I liked a little bit of hip hop. I have my conflicts with hip hop now, especially now. R&B, old school R&B. Like I didn't discover old school R&B like 60s, 70s, 80s, early mid 90s R&B until like much later. And I was like, where has this been? So like I am like in love with music. I love more instrumental music because I feel like instruments can express more than words can. And I know that sounds weird, but it's just like that's how I feel. Like I feel like you can say a lot more with an instrument. You can feel a lot more with an instrument than you can with just like words. So like that's like my lane of music.
Cool. That's such an interesting origin story.
I know. I love that.
I told you it's weird.
But like in the best way though.
Absolutely. And I thought that's how everybody listened to albums. Like the first time you listen to it, you gotta listen to the full album for what it is.
No.
I thought is
No.
that not like,
People
No,
skip to, you know how every album has like one or two songs, one or two singles that popped off on the radio and then the album comes out. People skip to those.
you run those into the
oh
ground,
no,
and then when
Oh
you're
yeah.
done running
oh
those into
no.
the ground, it's like, all right, well, what else is on here?
I knew people who never listened to the rest of the album. Like
Really?
they bought the album to support the artist. They listened to the songs that they liked and they never listened to the whole album in order ever.
No.
I knew people like that and it didn't make sense to
I
me.
mean, at least you bought the album to support the artist. Good on you. But Jesus Christ, you couldn't just.
I know. I don't know. It's never
Whatever.
made sense to me.
No, that makes no sense to me.
Yeah, that's definitely a thing people.
You've never
I mean,
heard a song on the radio and went, "What album is that?" and then realized you had the album.
I've done that before.
No.
I've done that once or twice, but only on like the rock and indie stations and stuff. Never on like the pop stations. It's never happened to me. But wait, Kai, ma'am, you have to answer your own question.
Oh God. Oh, that's right. Ew. Okay. Fuck, I gotta hear myself talk for a minute. Okay. So my origin story, let's see. So at the risk of getting low-key sappy, I wasn't super great at communicating, especially with kids my age. Didn't freaking like them. Sorry about it. And nobody in my family was really a musician. They didn't like, I don't really have anything in common with anyone in my family either. So it was kind of lonely and quiet there for a really long time until I was in the car with my mom and she was playing What's Love, the Fat Joe.
Yes, got to do.
And yeah, right. That's my shit. So that was like the first favorite song I remember having, and I was getting it. Okay, I was getting it in the backseat of the car, like I was jamming. And she was like, "Damn, a little bit over here likes music." Okay, so we would just like blast like DMX. She's probably gonna get really mad at me for telling this story. So we would just blast like DMX or whoever she was listening to at the time in the car, and like my favorite like parts of the day were car rides to and from like school or daycare or babysitter or wherever I was going because I could just listen to music and just like look out the window. And I still do that like a weirdo to this day. I'll just stare out a window and listen to music for hours. Yep, I don't know what that's about, but you know what? That was where I found my comfort, and I guess I never let that go. But she did hair for a while, and this woman who she worked with gave her like a keyboard and was like, give it to whoever wants it. So she gave it to me. And she says that I had been playing piano since I was 2, but I feel like that's an exaggeration. So I'm gonna say 4 because I feel like that sounds more reasonable. But for the rest of that time, I would just sit like in the basement and just like play with this little keyboard all day. And then I got like a little toy turntable microphone thing, and I would have like little pretend parties and things
Love
like
that.
that. And then when I finally got friends, they would come over and I'd be like, guys, let's play clubbing. Because, parents would go out and go clubbing
Go
back when they were
clubbing and
young.
leave. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so we'd like leave the babysitter upstairs. We'd all go down to the basement and I would just like be the DJ in this little party thing. And I actually went to a party last weekend and my friend was like, hey, will you DJ? And I was like, yes, I will. So not a damn thing has changed. Um, I guess that's the best way I can answer the question that I asked.
I love that. The best way. I love that. That's so fun. Like that. I love that. I now that I think about it, like when you say like there weren't any musicians in your family, I'm like trying to think if there were any. Like my uncle was a DJ, but I don't think there were. Like my grandma used to sing on the choir. So I guess that's where this, like I used to sing with my grandma. I used to sing all the little church songs with my grandma on the way to church. But I don't know if anyone in my family, my mom's going to call me later and be like, you forgot about, but like, I don't know if there's anyone who is really a musician because, and I honestly didn't think I was going to be. I used to think instruments were too hard to play and that they were for superhero people who had like magic brains, who were like really smart and really talented. And I was not at that level. So I was just going to sing. So until I got to 7th grade, I was like, I'll just sing. I'll just join a band and I'll be the singer. And that's what I'll do. Because I thought playing an instrument was just this like astronomically difficult thing that I was never going to be able to reach. I don't know why I felt that way. I mean, people still feel that way. I meet people who are like, whoa, how do you do that?
A lot of it's just patience, and most people don't really realize it takes some time to learn, but you can learn it. Most of it is kind of muscle memory-ish.
Yeah.
I guess. Like I started out playing it's called the chromatic barbell, but to me it just looks like a giant xylophone, right? So we had like this they called it bells in my late elementary / middle school, because it was both the same school. And one day I was like, these look like notes on a piano. So we had this like old beat up organ at my mom's house, and I was like, okay, so it's a C there, so it has to be a C, and a C looks like this, and that looks like that. And I just started like trying to put stuff together. And my mom came in the living room one day and was just like, oh my God, like, how did you learn that? I'm like, they look alike. That's all that is. Like that there's no surprise here. And it was the greatest thing in the world, because piano was like my third attempt at an instrument. I tried guitar, and my only thought of a guitar was hold all the strings and try to strum them at once. And I couldn't like get past that. And then I tried clarinet, and I sounded like a moose in distress. So I never thought I was ever going to be one. So like, it's just a matter of, I guess, finding your instrument, because everybody wants to flock to like a drum or like a piano or a guitar. You could be a woodwind player, you could be a chromatic bell player, like you could be any instrument that you want to be. Like, you just have to take the time. Not every instrument has to be, you don't always have to play the lead instrument to find an instrument you enjoy.
Yeah, totally.
Wow.
Do you know how your instrument journey? I know you told us about the little keyboard that you had, but like when you started like actually kind of taking it seriously, like I'm going to learn this instrument.
Kind of. Yeah, because at first when she gave it to me, it was a pretty big keyboard. I mean, it was bigger than me at the time because I was so incredibly small, so I would just hide in
Yeah.
the box. Um, God, I'm such a weird kid. Wow. Um,
Hey, no.
but then I
First of
eventually
all, there was a whole show. I'm sorry, we can't push back. Boxes
Oh,
are
no, we
great.
can't push back out of
There
the
was a
box. Oh my
whole
God.
show that was built around playing in boxes. Okay, so
And that was my show. That was my favorite freaking show. And when I saw them on TikTok, I cried
yeah, me too.
at 22. So, you know what?
Anyway, continue.
When he said fight, it was like we can finally meet again. I was like, we met again. Anyway, okay, we're not getting into this. Um, so I think it was I don't remember the exact. I think it was when my mom was trying to play it, and she wrote a song or something, and she was like, no, that wasn't the first moment. God damn, when was the?
It's
Oh my
hard.
God. It's really weird because I was so young. I honestly don't remember when I first sat down and really tried to play anything. I want to say I was just pressing the keys so much that I memorized what each note sounded like, which I then realized is not like a normal thing, but I thought that's what all musicians did.
Mhm.
Um, so I kind of got a feel for what every note sounded like and then which ones sounded good together in my mind. Um, I don't know, and I was like, this is kind of fun. I can make cool sounds and I can make ugly sounds, and I have power over this thing and nothing else, so I'm going to focus on this thing.
Yes, I love that. Um, my instrument, I told you guys how I thought it was impossible. So when I was in 7th grade, there was this guy. His name was Donald. He was a senior at the time. I went to a K through 12 school.
Mhm.
So everybody knew everybody, and you just work your way all the way up. So the middle school is when you started to shift to the area where like the middle and high school classes all happened, and like you get a locker, and it was like a big deal. So it was really junior high. So 1st to 6th grade was elementary school. So 6th grade was not included in middle school, which I think it should be that way. After teaching middle school, I think that's how it should be. But anyway, um I was in 7th grade, and this guy Donald was a senior, and he played guitar. And he was one of those guys, one of those like stereotypical dudes that walked around with their guitar on their back, except he wasn't a douche. He was like really sweet.
Okay.
So that
All
made
right.
it different. Yeah, he wasn't a douchebag. He was like actually a really nice person. but he was that person. He always had his guitar with him, and he would just kind of walk around and like play songs and like mess around with his friends. And like the high schoolers were allowed to eat lunch in the courtyard outside of the cafeteria, so they would like sit outside and he would play, and that people would sing, and like it'd be like a whole thing, and I'd be like, damn, I want to do that. I'm like, I sing but I can't accompany myself. Like it's just me. I need like a track or something. Like that's annoying. I wish I could just sing in the middle of the courtyard like that. So that guy actually inspired me to want to play guitar. I was like, it doesn't seem that hard. Like when I watch him do it, like it looks easy. And I told my uncle that, and then like that Christmas break of my 7th grade year, he bought me a guitar. So that was my first. I was like, wow, I have a guitar now. And my grandpa paid for classes for me, and I hated the classes. And I started going on YouTube and just kind of looking up pop songs that I like to sing to see if they were easy to play. And then I found Marty Schwartz, who teaches guitar on YouTube. He's great. And I just started binging his videos, and I would choose one and I would learn it and write the chords down on little index cards. You know, that guitar series that I do?
Mm-hmm.
That's where those cards came from. I would learn the song and write the chords on the index cards and just keep them around and play the song. And once I knew it well enough and I could sing it for my friends, I would learn a new one. And I just kept all those index cards in my case because I was learning so many songs that I would forget the order of the chords. And that's really how that happened. And then after that, I joined band and I learned flute. And then after that, I started college and they made me play piano. And that's how all of the instruments that I know happened. And then I just bought a ukulele this summer.
Hey, collaboration. What's good?
I know. But yeah, that's my instrument journey. It all started with some guy with a guitar.
So I got I like how you got a chance to actually learn instead of getting like thrown in on the fly. I know how to keep time on drums, like to the point where like I had to play along with an actual song during like a live service one time. So one time, because I was in like a church band back in the day, and I was on keys, and we would rotate out because our sets would go for like an hour or 2 hours. So sometimes we would like rotate in and rotate out depending on like a song. And one time the drummer got up and just was like, I'll be back. And he left. And I'm like, somebody has to, and I wasn't on keys at the time. One of my friends was. And I was like, somebody's got to play drums. Somebody's got to play drums. And I was like, I'll do it. And I just went over there and I sat down and I started playing, like, because I kept like where the drums were and where I was, like we were close to each other. Like I could turn around and communicate to him like we were in like a NFL formation or something like that. And like I've been watching him for so long, I'm like, I think I could do this. And I started doing it. And the problem is that the song was supposed to be like 2 minutes. So I was supposed to be on and off. The song went on for 25 minutes.
It'd be like that sometimes.
I'm just like, I'm supposed to keep up with this for 25 minutes and it feels like cardio. I have video of me doing this, and it's just like when I look back at it, like the kick drum is so loud. I didn't know you weren't supposed to like stamp on.
Oh, like, you were left footing it. Oh yeah, no.
it's I still to this day, but I'm like, I'm keeping time, so I'm like, okay, it sounds like a beginner, but it doesn't sound like, oh my god, he's destroying the whole song. So I have a newfound respect for drummers, but at the same time, now I want to learn how to like do fills and like really get into it because it's fun once you learn how to do it, I guess.
Drumming is super cool.
Wow.
Dude. Drumming is awesome.
Yeah, I could never drum. Hell no.
I totally, honestly, if somebody was like, hey, you have a drum set now, I would definitely try to learn, because I used to watch the jazz drummers in college and it's just so crazy to watch them.
Yeah.
My concern with drumming is so superficial and stupid.
Oh God.
I'm a very sweaty person.
Oh, that's going to happen.
Like, yeah,
that's
like,
going to happen.
But like, So, but I just am like, I'm also a Floridian. So, but like I'm outside for like 10 minutes and I'm like already like the mist is on the forehead, like it's not okay. I sweat so easily. So I feel like if I was drumming, it would be a mess, which is so gross. But because when they go in, they're all and stuff, and
They go in.
That would only take me like 5 minutes, and I'd already be like gross.
Okay, but that would look so cool. Like all these colorful spotlights on you, and every time you move your arms, it's just like
shiny.
sparkles.
I seen a video of a guy who was he was feeling himself a little too much while he was drumming. Like he was going in doing all the hand motions, but he was sitting on like one of those like wobbly office chairs, and like he went in a little too hard and like rocked back and fell in the middle of his set. And it's hilarious just because when he falls, his legs kick up and he kicks the toms off the rack, and it's beautiful. It's a thing of beauty. It's a thing of beauty. Okay. That is what I am afraid of.
That's so funny.
That is the thing I am afraid of.
That is not. I mean, I've seen sticks fly across the room and injure people. I've seen hats fall off. I saw one guy rip his hat off. Like he was playing.
Why?
Because his hat kept like drooping. I guess it was too big or something. And he was playing and he got annoyed and he was just like, and he like threw it. She was so funny.
I'm just trying to imagine like how angry you have to be to just snatch it smooth off the stand and just throw it.
He just threw.
I kind of get it though, because I'll be playing guitar or ukulele or something, and maybe I'll have a bracelet on that's a little too like much, and I'll just do a little wrist flick and flick it onto the floor and keep playing.
I'm done with
sometimes when you're in a zone, you're like, bye, bitch, and then you just keep on,
I had a friend who played guitar with 2 strings because he popped 4 of them.
Oh God!
Don't ask me how.
You can do like a power chord ish type thing that way.
I'm about to say, aren't you 1 string short of a power chord? Aren't power chords like 3
on stage?
Yeah, this was like live performance.
Oh my God!
Like I've heard of go with the flow. Like I've had a broken E key like when I played once before, but I've like you can play around that. But like when you lose strings, you lose strings. Like how does
like lose whole chord?
Yeah, like the entire string.
That's kind of cool though. Imagining someone like losing strings, but then still holding on to the power chord thing because you still have the chord progression, so you're just kind of to the bare minimum at that point.
Yeah, like whatever's getting covered is getting covered.
Right. And then, the audience makes up for it when they're like singing and shit. Like I feel like that's one of those movie scenes where they're like, you can take my strings, but not my music, man. Maybe I'm just
that was a maintenance issue. Those were old strings or something. There's no way all 4 of your 6 strings pop at the same time. Like you have not been changing them when you should, sir.
I have a Simpsons level of humor. When Kai said like you could take my strings but not my music, all I could imagine was literally after that the other 2 strings popping. You just look at the board.
Just start tapping on the fretboard.
Right, exactly.
I mean, whatever works, right?
Right on.
Wait, okay. So now this is, I don't know if this, whatever, it's music related. Have you guys had any amusing performance mishaps? Because I had one in band.
Go ahead. I'll let y'all go first. Go ahead.
Okay. In my beginner band, first of all, when I started school in 10th grade, it was a brand new school. Like I went to that K through 12 private school, and then it closed at the end of my freshman year. So I ended up at this charter school that was brand new. This was my 10th grade year was the first year this school existed, right? So they didn't have a backlog of staff. They didn't have a huge band program that you could just join, and there's like all these instruments and books and stands and stuff already there, and like you just join the program and learn. No, we built that from the ground up. There was nothing. So my band teacher scrounged together about 19 of us. So we were a 19-person concert band, and I was the only flute player. So I was first chair. and, um, and all the flute parts were on me, and it was really nerve-wracking because if you've ever played in a concert band or obviously listened to any orchestral music, flute has a lot of melody parts, and like all the pretty fills and like um, little runs and stuff are all there. Most of them are in flute and clarinet parts, and I was the only flute. Oh, it was one flute, me, and two clarinet players. It's great. So we were playing Somewhere Over the Rainbow at our concert, our spring concert, and the flute starts the piece. So I like hold out this note, and then everybody else like comes in and like joins me and stuff. Wouldn't be super nerve-wracking if I had a whole section, but it was just me. And I'm the first sound in the song. So we're on the stage. We're on the stage, and the stage light, like the person that was supposed to come unlock the light room upstairs, like the control center, didn't show up because nobody cared about the band because it's the first year we existed. So the stage lights were not on. So I couldn't really see my director that well. She was kind of like silhouetted. The lights in the gym were on, but not on the stage. So I was like squinting and really focused on making sure I got my cue right. Cause like I said, first sound in the song. So she puts her arms up, and I thought that she did the little thing to start, and I just started playing. And I'm just holding out my B flat, and nobody else came in.
Listen, that's a sound test.
Yeah, exact. I'm tuning. Let me tune. That's what you say.
None of you understand because none of you play this section but me.
I mean, one person in the audience would be like, "You're supposed to tune to an A440." And hey, shut up!
Shut up.
Tuning.
And then my director was like, "Shy," and I was like, "Oh shit!" And I like stopped. And then she had to cue me again. Oh God, I will never forget that. And then my band was laughing, and it was all like, I was laughing, but I was also like, oh my God, I just did that. That happened.
Oh man.
So that was that. That's that story.
So never buy a used sustain pedal. Never. And I'll tell you why. So again, being part of this band, we were in the middle of a set. And like we were like, so we had guitar players, but I was like the lead person. Like there was a person that was in charge of like the people who sang, and then there was a person who was in charge of the band. And I was the lead musician basically on that. How I got that job is beyond me, but I was the lead musician. So a lot of stuff depended on like what I played, how I played. I would like turn around, like literally make signal calls. There was times where like literally me changing a song because we didn't have the right equipment was like me looking like I was trying to land traffic. Like it was that kind of bad. So in one traffic landing moment, I turned around and I stepped too hard on the sustain pedal and waved my arms to kind of like tell everybody like switch, because I couldn't get everybody's attention all at once. So when I did that, I broke the sustain pedal.
Oh, no.
And it started sounding like my first piano recital from then on, because keyboard without sustain sounds awful. And especially if you don't have, like, if it's just dry piano where there's like no pads underneath, there's no other like special effect, it's just regular piano, it sounded awful. And I had to go a whole nother hour sounding like that. And that was fun. That was fun. The whole time I'm just sitting there looking like, I need to get out of this. And I couldn't. Like, they didn't want to end it early. Like, my friends were just laughing at me like, you okay? You good? I'm like, I hate all of you. I hate all of you. I hate all of you.
Oh no.
But yeah, fun times. I've also knocked over, I've also like smacked the cymbal, waving my arms, because again, way too close to drums, like way too close, because the building was way too small for what we were trying to do. But like, they didn't care because nobody else had to sit over there but us. So like, I've turned around and gone like, this was like my cue for like Raise It, which is like, for those of you that can't see, it's just like me trying to like do the come here with my hand, but like I'm using my whole arm, and I've like uppercutted the cymbal. It didn't fall off, thankfully, but like it was just an awkward moment because it was a very quiet song. It's just like you just hear like ding, 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 all you hear is like, well,
I love that.
You live and you learn. So
Great.
Fun times.
Oh, I love that. That's so funny.
Hilarious.
Oh my.
uh,
Oh god, I don't know if I really have like a catastrophe such as that, but when I was when I was a sophomore in high school, I was approached by my band director and he asked me if I would like to write a piece for like my senior year for the final concert. We did this thing. I don't know if you did this in your band, Chai. Um, there was like a final concert at the end of the year where we would play like pop songs or like this is from Iron Man or this is from Star Wars or whatever. Like we'd play the fun stuff because we spent most of the year practicing for like competitions and doing like formal stuff. So this was our informal invite your family and friends and come see the band play fun songs.
Mhm.
So I got the opportunity to write a piece for like my senior year final gala concert. So like after I graduate, we can all play this thing that I did. So I turned it in, and the thing that sucks is I don't know how to compose. I've never done it. I played clarinet. Like that's it. That's all I played. So not only did I not know how to play any of the instruments, I definitely didn't know how to write for them, and I didn't really get much help, which kind of sucks because I really wanted to learn how to do it right, and that was a bit of a bummer, but it's okay. So I turned it in, and I never heard anything back from him. And I was like, that sucks, but it's okay. Like it happens. And my mom was like, you should have tried harder. And maybe he would have. Love you, mom. You made me feel like shit. So anyway, we're doing. I think that theme my senior year was like around the world composers and like music from different countries. So we had different backdrops, and they were like they would play a piece, and they'd be like, audience has to guess which one it's from or whatever.
Mhm.
So at the end of it, he was like, the wind ensemble, which is like the smaller, more advanced band, he was like, they're gonna play the final piece, and this one's by an American composer, and I'm gonna tell you about her and who she is and stuff like that. So he starts to talk about me, and everyone in the band kind of looks at me, and I was like, oh my god, like
Oh,
they're gonna
cute.
play this thing. And so I was like kind of super emotional. We're not gonna get into that. Anyway,
Cute.
I found out though that they looked at it and practiced it for maybe a week. And
Oh,
because I was extra as shit and decided to do it in G flat Lydian because of course I did, they had trouble like reading the music and they played a lot of wrong notes. Which at the time I didn't care because I was like, they're playing my pace. Oh my God. Like. But then when I watched the video back the next day, I was like, objectively, this is really bad. And I wonder if the audience heard them play this and was like, that's what she wrote? Like, and it makes me kind of cringe. I'm still so thankful for the experience, but I can't watch the video back because I'm like, isn't it supposed to sound like that?
but that brings up a really good point though. Like when you it's different playing somebody else's music versus like letting people hear you play your own, because like you're always going to be the hardest critic of your own music, right? So like
True.
you heard it and went, and everybody else probably could have heard it and went, oh wow, like that's fantastic. But like you'll never feel that way because it's yours. So you demand perfection out of like your own music.
Mhm.
That's fair. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Artists have
Yeah.
very high standards for their own work. I noticed that. And that's not even just music. That's like all things creative,
Yeah,
right?
that's true.
Like everything every little brain baby that you have is is super special to you and you want it to be perfect. And no one is going to see it the way you do ever.
Right. And for a lot of people, especially with like creatives, you always figure everything you put out, one of these things is going to get to the right person. And this could be the launch point. And you don't want, like, I know for me, like, I love making like cinematic music. I absolutely love it.
Mhm.
I'm afraid that my music will get to like John Williams or like Hans Zimmer, and they'll just go, "What the hell is this?"
Do all of
And
that.
like, yeah, like, class, let me show you what not to make. And like, they play like your music, and it's just like you're always afraid of like that happening because like we call it in therapy, we call it catastrophizing, but like it's always like the
Ooh.
worst situation is always in your mind whenever
Mhm.
music comes to somebody, like you're letting them listen to it and they're going to turn it up. Like if you've ever made a song, for example, in like a workstation, and it sounds really good in the workstation. Go play it in somebody's car, like have it played in somebody's car, because I've learned that car audio
Don't do it.
speakers will tell you the truth about your music.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
remember one
Yeah.
time like feeling really good about a song, and I let it play in like a friend's car, and he turned it all the way up, and it was just like we were going down a highway, and it just felt like, this is what not to do, everyone, because it sounded like horribly mixed, and like I could hear all of the mistakes, and you're always afraid of that moment. So that's why you're always going to be critical of your own stuff. Like, that's why you're always going to like other people might like it, but you may not.
So fun fact, I'm just going to say this because you mentioned listening to your music in the car. I had when I was in college, I was friends with a lot of the music tech kids. So like the kids that were studying production and sound engineering and all that.
Mm-hmm.
I was friends with a lot of them. And when you're a low budget engineer, mixer, like we all are,
Represent.
Okay.
A lot of them will mix in their car because the speakers that they put in cars are much better than anything we can afford right now.
Very true.
So a lot of my friends that were studying that stuff, they used to sit in their car and mix. Like they would do whatever they were doing, and then whatever they were working on, and then they would just take their laptop and plug in and go sit in their car and mix in their car. And that's what they used to do. And they'd be in there for hours because the speakers that's the best speakers you're gonna get if you're on a budget is the ones that are already in your car.
That is genius. Because I was telling somebody the other day, I was like, look, I don't know how to mix. I'm not letting anybody hear this ever until I hear it in every single setting and figure out exactly how to get my mix, because I don't know what it is about it, but it sounds like garbage, and I'm trying to figure it out because I can't put out well, I'm gonna have to. I mean, you will put out a bad mix the first few times before you learn.
Yeah.
Logically, I know that.
One.
Yeah, right. Like logically, I'm like, okay, that's how it happens. You don't have to be good at things. Like you can start out bad, but I'm still, I can't do that.
I get it. And that's the hard thing. Like you really want to put out the best you can. I wish that, because I've tried to learn how to do mixing and mastering too, and it just all seems like Latin to me. Like I can't figure out what the heck they're talking about. Like I've seen the labels, like here's the EQ, here's the gain, this is how you use this envelope, and I'm like, what envelope? What the heck are you talking about with an envelope? Like
I'm saying, right, exactly.
I'm better with like the compose. Like I at one point I was trying to like outsource the mixing and mastering, and everybody kept saying, no, you want to do this yourself. I'm like, no, I don't. I don't.
I was just gonna say, a lot of people outsource. Like most people will find someone they trust. So like they'll go on like Fiverr or something with a sample song. They'll send it to a bunch of people, pay the whatever. Here, I'll charge you $20 to mix this, or $15 or $10 or whatever you find on Fiverr. Find someone where you like their work. First of all, you always explain to them what you want, right? Like, I want this to sound like this. You tell them your ideas. If not, they're going to take their own creative liberties. And then you see what they come up with. And most mixers are 100% open to taking notes because it's not their art, it's your art, so they want it to sound, you're paying them so that it sounds the way you want it to sound.
What I'm afraid of doing that though is one day you try to go to copyright it, because I'd like to take all of mine through like the Library of Congress and have it like copywritten, and you find out like, hey, this has already been copywritten by so and so, and then you realize that's the person you send it off to. They have it mixed. And like that's the phobia I have. Like that's why I would rather learn how to do it, but I haven't found like anything that like teaches it in what I call plain English. Like that would be nice, because like it's everybody talks about it like it's so easy. Like, oh, so first you just turn this down, and then you do what's called sidechain compression, and then I'm like, can we start off with what those things are first, and then kind of work our way through that? And I can never find that video. So
dude, I tried to find that video.
I don't know where you can, except for at school.
You can't. You really can't. I have looked up like 7 videos in one day on what the hell is compression. Just the simple question, what is compression?
You'll get
And they
50.
explain it like it's easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they explain it like
Yeah.
it's easy, like, oh, it just levels everything out. And I'm like, okay, cool. And then they're like, oh, so you got to turn the knee to 1.4. I'm like, what the
Yes.
fuck is a knee?
Yes.
What is the ratio? What does the threshold do? What
So
is an envelope?
yes. And then what makes it
envelope.
worse,
Piece of paper that's folded to
and that's what
Right,
I
is it a
do it
manila
as, but
envelope?
apparently I can't find that on my workstation.
Or phasing. They're like, it'll create phase issues. I'm like, this isn't a phase, mom. What in the hell is a phase issue? I don't understand.
And this is the other thing that kind of bothers me. And this is Kai, I was talking to you about this a few weeks ago. So like kind of low-key tying in blindness or whatever, with a lot of the things that you have to do with mixing and mastering. Yeah. 5 seconds of this. But like tying in like the mixing and mastering and stuff, a lot of like the faders and knobs or like the on-screen like mixing and mastering tools. It's the same way with virtual instrument tools too, but like with the mixing and mastering tools, those things are so freaking hard to see and control. Like I have to buy so much like audio hardware. Like I just changed out my keyboard. I have the Native Instruments Complete Control A61, mainly because it has a lot of like knobs on it, and I'm looking for like faders, like tactile faders that can like pair with all that stuff. Because one of the things that made me quit like even trying was like, okay, now I have to take this mouse and get it exactly to this specific spot on this dial. If you move, like my mouse is freaking huge, so like trying to get it there is hard enough as is. But like imagine if you just go like one tick back, now you got to type to readjust all that over again. It's a lot. It's just a lot.
So I think that's one of the reasons that I will always stay in the Apple ecosystem when it comes to my music making. First of all, if professionals use it, so that's number one.
Blah blah.
I know. I was looking at Jay's face the whole time.
I know. I knew he was gonna. But the reason is, even GarageBand and what's the other one that they make? Logic. They're all accessible. Like the screen reader that's built into a Mac is made to work with them. So all the little tiny knobs, it tells me all the names of everything, and like it only speaks when I'm actually on it, and it's all built in. I don't have to worry about, will my screen reader work with this? You know what I mean? So that's one of the reasons that I will, once I've learned GarageBand well enough, I'll probably get Logic. I probably won't get anything else, just because I don't have to worry about, will my screen reader work with this? Now, the other screen readers could, like JAWS and Zoom Text and narration or whatever, could probably work an NVDA. I don't know if they do, but I know for a fact that it'll work with Logic. That's why I'm probably just going to stick.
I was told JAWS will. I was because this is the other cool thing that I had in Tuesday. I had to get off not Tuesday, Wednesday I had to get off the production meeting because I had an accessibility training appointment. And the guy that came out is also a musician. He also does like digital composition, and he was like, JAWS will do that. He was like, Microsoft Narrator will not. Microsoft Narrator will look at you like, and what did you expect me to do? Like, it's a nice thing, but like I don't know what to tell you. So like I can't wait to get JAWS, and I'm hoping JAWS will do that. But like everyone, I don't want to switch to Apple.
I know. It's just so easy.
It's so lovely.
Because otherwise,
you can just airdrop it.
Oh my god, airdrop,
dude! When you do a mix and you're like, I wonder what this mix sounds like, and you can just airdrop it to your phone and then put your headphones in. Oh my god!
There has got to be a Google version of airdrop. And
there's like a Samsung version, but
yeah, I know about that one.
Specific devices that work with it.
Yeah, I don't want anything to do with DeX and all of the fake desktop technology Samsung came up with. It's no good.
Yeah,
I gotta find a Windows version now, like drop it to other devices because I need that.
It has to be something because AirDrop is so convenient. Like when I'm video editing,
God, it's amazing.
I shoot the videos on my phone. I AirDrop it to my computer, and it's there. It's just there. It's just so nice. Like if other companies had AirDrop, I feel like a lot of Apple people would be like, I guess I could switch to something else because AirDrop is just so nice.
But that's probably the crazy thing. It probably exists and nobody knows about it.
I
See,
So
feel like
like,
people would know. I feel like one person would be like, "Hey, all you people! Hey, all you
the
people!"
Samsung thing that's like AirDrop exists, but the problem is you have to have all the specific things that work in that ecosystem.
yeah,
Whereas, Apple is only one ecosystem. So if you have Apple things, you have Apple things, That's what makes it so complicated, is because there's so many different devices that are running on Google and Android, and it's hard to like choose an ecosystem that has everything that you want,
yeah.
Because personally, I don't actually care. It's just what is most convenient for me, and it just happens to
Right
be it.
on.
I honestly don't care either. It's just, I always feel like I'm put on this side that I have to like defend. I don't know why. But
Yeah, I get you.
quick question. Is there a style of music that you cannot stand listening to?
And why is it country? That should be your follow-up question to that one.
Yeah, honestly. But modern country, because what I've noticed is, because my great aunt loves to listen to like old country music, like she'll blast it when she's cleaning and stuff.
Mhm.
And I don't hate it. I don't hate it because it's all like love songs and like cute stories and stuff. I can't handle modern country where they're saying about their truck and the and fishing and beer and going mudding and all. I don't care. I'm sorry, I don't care about your truck and the girl in Daisy Dukes that you're taking out to dinner at Apple.
It's
I don't
always
care.
Daisy Dukes, isn't it? It's always Daisy Dukes.
I just don't care. Modern country. I mean, I know there's songs out there. I know there's still people out there that are still kind of leaning into the old school country ways. And I'm not even a big country person. I really genuinely don't like it. But if old country is on, I'm not going to be like, oh my God, shoot me. But new country, I can't handle it. It needs to be turned off. Can't do it.
Oh, especially the country fusion that's going on right now.
Oh,
Yeah.
hip hop country garbage. What is that?
Well,
Oh,
because
that's the
both
quickest way to
halves-
anger me.
That's because both halves are garbage.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not a new, and again, this I'm old. Let's just say this is the old rant of today. I am 36. I had the privilege of listening to hip hop in the 80s and the 90s, and I don't know what the hell is being played today. I remember when you had to have I'm frustrated because my brother who also has RP, he's a rapper, and he's really really good. And one of the things he's like, both him and I are kind of frustrated with current hip hop, mainly because it doesn't really seem like it takes much talent to do anymore. It's kind of like I was gonna say it's the Apple of, but never mind. It's the
Ew.
it's the it's the I'm not gonna throw that shot either. So it's too basic. It's not clever. Like I remember like wordsmiths. I remember when like things were creative, and it's not that anymore.
It's
not,
Dr. Seuss with a beat behind it.
and
It's
the beat is
dirty,
all the same.
It's dirty, nasty Dr. Seuss with the same beat behind it.
That's what
Had,
bothers me. Like
and the
I
same
miss creativity like in hip hop. I miss when you actually had to have, like, I remember when everybody couldn't do it. I remember when like not anybody could just go, I'm going to go in the studio and do this and then actually make it. I remember when people didn't when all of the top 10 songs didn't sound the exact same. And for me,
Yep.
I can't do it anymore. And again, that's just my old rant. That's me. I understand that.
I fully agree with you, and I've been saying it for the past 6 or 7 years, and nobody
I
listens
was
to me.
gonna say, yeah, at least 6 or 7 years.
At least,
Even
minimum.
because, yeah, back in the day, like early 2000s. Wow, that's back in the day.
Yes, it is. Welcome to the old
Ooh.
table.
You.
See, first of all, when I said on a TikTok back in the day when I was young, I'm not a kid anymore, and Jay, you commented, but some days I sit and wish I was a kid again. I was like, see,
Yes.
these are my people. These are my people.
Yes.
This is what I'm talking about. But I used to love, like, because I was obsessed with radio as a kid. I wanted to work in radio so bad. But
So
my
did I.
favorite thing, anyway. So it was like the weekend top 30 or the weekend top 40 or whatever it was. And I would love to just sit and listen to the top 40 songs and even the talking, like the DJs in between that would be like, that was blah, blah, blah. And this is why, I just loved it. And now I cannot listen to the top 10. I can't. I
No.
won't.
It makes me want to barf. You know what's sad? You know what's really, really, really sad though? And I get sad about this all the time. There are artists out there that are still doing the art of rap.
Yeah.
There's so many of them, but they're all considered like underground indie, whatever, because nobody will play them on the radio because it's not what's cool right now.
Yeah.
But they're so good. There's so many people who are still doing it.
Somebody surprised me with like, I didn't know really much about underground hip hop. And when I heard it, I'm like, oh, so this is still a thing. They're like, yeah, it's just nobody wants to hear it anymore. I'm like, nobody wants to hear this anymore? Like nobody wants to hear good. Well, again, try not to be the old man ranting, but like nobody wants to hear the good music anymore. Cause like everything's like, I can't remember who it was, but I was riding with my sister-in-law and somebody came on and like literally all of their ad-libs was them barking into a microphone. And I'm like,
yep.
The hell is this? Like, what is, but you know, it is what
Joe and I joke all the time that we're going to write a rap album because anyone can do it now. Literally anyone.
I would love to hear. Y'all have to go through with this. I would love to hear.
Please. You know, it's funny because I made the joke that I was going to make a country album for that same because country is so simple, and I was just going to be like, "Oh, Mailer Lite on the front." I still might make a country song someday.
Though.
That, you know what? We need to do like a project. I'm saying where we can just do like a fusion album. We'll do one country song, one like shitty modern rap song. We'll just do it all that we can.
Love it,
and we'll just post it on all of our TikToks.
And if it goes platinum. If it goes platinum.
Honestly, though, it could. That's the problem. The problem is that it could easily.
And you know what? We can all get self-driving cars. What's up?
You know, all we need, and this makes me really sad. And this always, every time I say this, people are like they think I'm like a music snob. All we need, honestly, is a super generic beat that like slaps. Like something that's like, I could shake my ass to this. Yeah. That's all we need. That's all we need.
Yeah.
And then we can say whatever we want on top of it.
Yeah.
Whatever we want. Whatever. I could write a song about my favorite cereals, but if the beat slaps, that shit will blow up. It'll be all over TikTok.
It will. I mean, the Reese's Puff commercials, that shit slaps. I don't care. Peanut butter chocolate flavor, that shit has me sent. Okay. We can do it. Like,
oh my god, I can't. It makes me sad. I feel like such a music snob every time. And then people always prove what I'm saying. Like, I'll be listening to songs sometimes, like against my will. Like, I'll be with a group of people and someone else is DJing or playing the music, whatever. And I'll be like, did he just say blah blah blah? And they'd be like, really? He said that? And they'll have to play it over. And this has happened multiple times. This has happened so many times. One time it happened with Brittany when we were in Miami. I don't remember what song we were listening to, but one of the lyrics that I heard that just jumped out at me was just so stupid. And I was like, did he just say this? And she's like, I never heard that before. And she played it over. And she's like, wow, he did say that. I'm like, so you don't know the words? And she's like, I just like the beat. And I'm like, and that's happened so many times. Like, I'm not bullying Brittany. That's happened.
But that's for a lot of people. Like, most people don't listen to the actual lyric anymore. No. It's just about the beat. But the beat all sounds the same to me, though.
Yes, that's what gets me. Because when you don't have the lyrics or the beat, because I'm the same way. Like, I do love music. I love lyrics. Obviously, I love music. What the fuck am I doing here? I love the lyrics, that like cleverly written lyrics. But even still, I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes, if the lyrics are dumb as hell, but the beat slaps, I will listen to it and enjoy it at like a party setting. Even now, at a party, I'm not gonna listen to it like in the kitchen when I'm making my ramen noodles. But you know, party setting, volume is up, you know, drinks are flowing. Hell yeah, I'll bop to it. But even now, the beats are just as lame as the lyrics, and I'm like, why are you listening to this? Why are you listening to this?
I feel like
I don't want to sound like a snob either.
I feel like
it's not a snob. It's just as a musician, as a creative, like that you hone in for that kind of stuff, right? It's not just I'll just listen to this and just let it play in the background. Anything that like I know for me, anything that like throws my ear off Like you just pick it up and be like, the hell is this? It's done for me in like 5 seconds. So a lot of that is like that because it doesn't sound good to you. So you're listening not just for the lyric, you're listening for like the music behind it. And most music is simple. That's why like everybody. Have you ever had this happen to you, Kai? When you tell people that, oh, I make music, everybody always asks you to make them a beat.
Yes.
And it's mainly
Oh my
because
God.
everyone who makes music, well, not everyone, but like a lot of people who make music, their whole sole thing is to make beats because now it's common.
Because I've asked that because I said I want to be a producer someday, and this guy literally said, "Oh, you make beats?" And at first, I didn't know what he was talking. I thought that was just what the kids were calling music now. Like, yeah, I make beats, because I'm naive. And I was like, yeah, I make beats. What's up? And then he was like, he kind of showed me some of the stuff that he did, and I was like, where's the
Creativity.
rest? Yeah, where's the creativity? Where's the structure?
Yeah.
God, now it's my old person rant.
Yeah.
Where's the
Welcome.
verse, chorus? Where's the swelling? Where are the crescendos? Where's the meaningful, like, where's the flat seven? Throw a flat seven in there. Do a little curveball. Like,
You
do
and
a
your
thing.
flat seven.
I know. Fuck, I love a flat seven. But like, even watching people make beats on TikTok and they'll play like 3 notes over and over, and that's it for a
And
melody,
then add a
and then
drum
they'll just
pattern.
yes, and then they're like so intense about it and they're just like feeling themselves like, and I'm like, I could literally do that now.
Yeah. And that's what music production is. Like anybody can do it now. Unfortunately, and because anybody does it, there's not a lot of creativity in the music that comes out. And that's why it literally is 4 notes, a bass line, which is also 4 notes, and a drum. That's it. There's not too much creativity that goes into it anymore. So that's why it's kind of going to throw your ear off.
Okay, so I think that we might have. Well, I'm sorry. What were we gonna say, Shia?
No, I had a question, but I lost it.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's not your fault. I was listening to Jay and I was like engulfed in the actual conversation, and I lost my question that I've been holding on to. Oh, I got it back. Okay.
Yay.
Do you think that things jump out at us musically, not only because we like and care about and make music, but also do you think it could be like a paying more attention to our ears thing? I know, Kai, you still have like a lot of vision left. I also have a decent amount of vision left. But I know that sometimes I hear things in the song that people never noticed.
Yeah.
So does that happen to you guys? And do you think it could be a blind thing, or is it just like a musician thing?
I think it's a little bit of both.
Yeah,
I think it's definitely both. I think it's especially because I have synesthesia, so I notice every like little, because it's like paying attention to detail. Whenever someone says paying attention to detail, a lot of the times they think visual. Focus on it visually, pay attention to every little detail. But with me, honey, I can't do that. So it's kind of like an audio thing. Like I pay attention to every detail of the piece of art that I really appreciate, which happens to be music. So I mean, yeah, what a surprise the blind lady likes music. I don't know.
Absolutely. I think it's a little bit of both. We are used to focusing on what we hear. And I think because like not only are we paying attention to just detail there as musicians, you're listening for every single thing. Like especially if you're trying to learn a song and how it goes, you're listening for every little nuance and every little detail. So I think it's a combination of both. And I think it's honestly a great thing. It's also why cheap headphones bug me, because I want to hear everything in a song. So like
I swear to God,
I purchase like these, and this is not a commercial. A while ago I purchased these Sony XM3s because the detail like of that you can hear in a song is like amazing. It's freaking amazing. I love hearing.
Wait, which ones are those? I'm so sorry.
Sony WH-1000 XM3.
I almost bought those.
They're fantastic.
I ended up settling on my Audio-Technica M40Xs because I didn't want to spend too much. They were still $8, but whatever.
But Audio-Technica is a dope brand, so you still got the best.
I love these. Honestly, live for these headphones, and they're so comfy.
Yeah. Sponsor us. It's like
please, please send me headphones and mics and keyboards. And
yes, both of my things are Audio-Technica. Absolutely.
I would love that.
Plus, it just makes me sound smart when I say Audio Technica because my friends don't do music. So I'm like, I'm using an Audio Technica ETBT. And they're like, oh, that's so cool. And I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of a big deal. You know, like,
Yeah.
Everybody expects when you make music, you have to have Beats by Dre, which
suck.
dude.
yeah,
Dude,
yeah. I was
fuck
trying not
Beats
to
by
say
Dre.
it.
No, they suck. They're trash.
I'll fucking say it. Yeah.
I don't care. Fight me. Somebody come at me.
I had a friend that was like, if you don't have Beats by Dre, like you're not a real producer. I'm like, if you're a real producer, you don't have Beats by Dre because there's no way in the world you're trying to do music with those things.
They're garbage. They're nothing. They're so bassy for no reason.
Yeah.
No reason.
And
especially mixing with them.
Yeah.
Don't ever mix with them. What the fuck are you doing?
There's no reason you should be listening to Taylor Swift and her singing drowned out by bass. There's no what. Why?
Literally, why?
Like, you are the happiest people talking about music I've ever heard. I love that.
Oh gosh, I hate Beats. I hate them. I hate them. And they're so expensive for no reason. And they're plastic and they break.
That's the other thing.
Dude,
why are they so expensive
plastic
to be plastic?
They break. They're so fragile. My friend had Beats and there was always something wrong with them.
Yeah.
It's like, how that you paid so much money for them? Why are they always broken?
You are paying for the brand name. You are literally paying
you
for
literally
the brand.
are. You're paying for the brand. I've never met a musician that I respected who was like, no, I use Beats. I've never fucking heard that in my life.
All the musicians.
Do you think Dre uses Beats?
No. Hell no. Absolutely fucking not.
No.
You know why? You know why? Because he no longer owns it. He no longer owns the brand. Apple owns that brand.
Oh.
That's not why. He doesn't use them because they suck. He might. You know what? People who only listen to hip hop, if you want to use Beats as your casual listening experience,
not even for that.
Or like you just really like Dr. Dre and you wanted to give him your money, cool. It's not he's not getting it anymore, so stop. But
yeah, right. So you have no reason, basically.
That's Tim Cook's money now.
Yeah, but
is that why the Apple headphones are $500 now?
Which ones?
Like
those are
not earbuds, but the wireless headset.
Oh yeah, that one's They've never made anything like that before.
That's terrible.
I just saw it on Amazon.
I know. That was their first thingy.
That's
their
terrible.
First over-ear headset, and
but the problem is you're already competing with Bose and Audio Technica.
Bose
and
is
Sony.
good. I like Bose.
Bose's QC 700s, man. I heard those. That's my next. Like, I will own like 10 pairs of like these type of headphones just because I love hearing my audio like that. So Bose QC 700s are my next ones.
I just bought the Bose.
Really? Do you like them?
I love them, yeah. Except it doesn't have like a skip track. Like I can't skip my tracks.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so try the XM4s then. They're relatively close. I know at one point the XM3s were better than what was Bose's before they did the 700s, they had another one. I can't remember what it's called now, but these were ranked better than Bose's previous model. So
wow.
Trying to remember the brand of these. These are studio headphones. Joe bought these. They're like DT.
Bear Dynamic.
Yeah.
Those are Bear Dynamic.
These are dope.
Oh wow.
These are really cool.
Have you mixed with them?
Yeah.
That's what they're meant for.
We have. That's what they're for. So
okay, because I don't know which one these are.
Yeah, we bought mine as like an in-between production / just while I'm making the music or while I want to listen to it or whatever is kind of what mine are for. And then he bought these so that we would have actual like mixing studio headphones. And they're super comfy and they have like velvet on the ear cups. Can we talk about the velvet though?
Oh, I like that. My Sonys have those and I love it.
I love that.
But those
have that too.
Those were like 120, 110, some shit. And then mine were like $75, $80.
Wow.
Yeah.
People don't think about that, but you have your headphones on when you're editing for like hours at a time.
Oh yeah.
Hours. Oh my God.
You want them to be comfortable.
Yeah.
Well,
thank you for being here on Inspirations Beyond Disabilities. We went slightly over an hour, but it was the question Shy asked was so worth it that I just had to keep that going.
Yay.
Yay.
Glad my question pushed us over.
Definitely. And I want to say, like, the beat that people are using reminds people of songs that they liked. So that's why they're using it. And then it's just repetition. You could make a graduation song if all you did was say happy graduation over that beat, you know?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was like I was trying to make a new birthday song, and then 2 Chainz came out with a new birthday song, and I was like, that fucker took my idea and did it better.
Yeah.
So
It's funny.
yeah. And then the last thing was producing music in headphones is one thing, but listening to it on a one speaker, like, hey, hey, Alexa,
Oh
you
my
know?
God,
Oh,
yeah. Well, they
goodness.
say that you are supposed to mix in mono as well so that you can hear things like that.
Yeah.
Like kind of after I mean, not solely mixing in mono, dear God,
Yeah.
but you know, that's my least favorite part because I hate hearing my shit in mono because I do a lot of panning and like,
Right.
oh my God, binaural panning. I can't hear binaural panning in my headphones, which is why I want better ones because I love, which by the way, Shy, if you get Logic, you can do binaural panning. Just saying.
Ooh, fancy. I'm not getting Logic until I'm like the best GarageBand user ever. I'm too poor.
See, what's that like? I not only can't afford it, I also don't know how to use it, and I bought it like a week ago any fucking way because I'm great at making decisions for
You
myself.
clearly have less bills than I do.
I just don't eat.
Also, I've been unemployed for the past year, so let's not talk about my credit card. Let's not. So that'd be terrible to buy. You know what?
I earned $20 this year.
Ooh, love that.
Wow.
Yes.
Oh,
Don't tell
yeah.
Social Security.
Yeah, right. Shit.
Raking it in, Jason.
My Robinhood app just said, confirm your tax, whatever it is, whatever. And I was like, no, I'm not going to do that just now.
I love it.
Yeah.
Look at us, poor, struggling musicians. No, I'm kidding. But
That's about right. No, that's about right.
Yeah, right. That tracks, honestly.
So funny.
I mean, I kind of accept the idea that I am the stereotype. I'm the blind lady who likes voices and music. I'm the struggling 22-year-old who, skips meals so she can buy clothes and digital audio workstations. Like, I am the stereotype, and I'm okay with it now.
You know what was weird on TikTok? Somebody decided to do a blind musician series, and they did they did the two, Stevie Wonder and then Ray Charles, and then I never saw another one.
Oh yeah, the series was over at that.
They could have thrown Jay, Kai, Shy in there.
Nobody knows, nobody knows. Shy for sure, because Shy, that's actually how I found you. You were doing music.
Right.
I need to.
Like I told you, you're the only person that got a Taylor Swift song stuck in my head.
For me,
I actually swore you wrote that. I swore you wrote that.
Yeah, that's so funny that you thought I wrote.
I swore you. I had never heard that song before, and I'm like, I thought you were responding to like a troll because that's like the perfect troll response.
Yeah, that's what she wrote it for. Yeah.
But I'm like, oh man, that is a dope response. And then he's like, oh, this is a Taylor Swift song. I'm like, oh, it's Taylor Swift. And then I woke up the next day. I'll be. Oh, damn it.
And that is my favorite Taylor Swift song. Like, she has some bangers. I love it. I did it for karaoke once.
Congratulations to Jay for not knowing it was a Taylor Swift song.
Yes, congratulations to you.
But her production is amazing on a lot of her stuff.
Her production is good. Yeah.
Honestly,
shit. Okay. Her, the song Enchanted, who she happened to write for Adam Young, who's the one man in this world that I'll always be in love with. I heard her song at first and I had no idea that it was about him, but I just, something about the song, I loved it so much. And I realized now it was like the swelling synth pads and just everything about it was amazing. And then I found out that she wrote it for him and I was like, and then his version, oh my God, his version is, anyway, I'm not going to do this here.
But yeah, honestly, T Swift was good at writing. It's the country roots, like lyrically anyway. I mean, all her songs, the chords are all like the same, but that's like pop, so that's fine. I'm not even gonna go there. That's so many songs. I mean, have you ever seen the 4-chord song video? Like,
yep.
That's not even. When people are like, oh, it's all the same chords, blah, like those are like the real super snobby music snobs.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, dude, I don't care if the chords are the same because you can't, they're played differently. They're still played differently.
And if it's
Right. I
making
mean,
money,
because
who cares?
you only have so many chords that you can possibly use. And I was talking to Jason about this one night. I was like, I'm not going to be a snob when it comes to the four chords. Maybe instead of an A minor, I'll play a D minor and be like, look, I switched it up. I used a two
Yeah,
chord instead of a
exactly.
six. But
Like,
that's it. Like, I'm not going to be extra.
like I'll write some 4 chord songs. It's a formula that works. There's no need to break it.
Mhm.
I don't care. Because it's
Don't
the
give a damn.
lyrics, it's the melody, the everything else that goes on with it can be completely different.
Yeah. There's
Anyway.
more people that love homogenous music than people that love unique styles. You know what I mean? And that's just unfair. We're not searching for uniqueness in music anymore. We're searching for something that sounds slightly different than what we liked.
Yeah.
And that's why Lil Wayne still has a career.
Does he though?
Does he?
Does he? I don't
I
know.
love how
like
that
he
was our
doesn't.
response.
I feel
I
like
don't
he
think he
doesn't.
There's no way he does. But I am following T-Pain on TikTok and I love him.
I honestly
T-Pain
like,
destroyed rap. T-Pain was the destruction of rap with auto-tune.
No, he wasn't.
he was
Rap
No,
got jacked long
T-Pain.
before T-Pain.
Man,
Yeah,
it
true.
allowed
Honestly-
average singers to become beyond average singers.
But he's an amazing singer, though. Like hearing T-Pain without, because that was his signature
Okay.
thing. But hearing him without it, I'll have to send you a video.
he can
He
actually sing.
actually is
He can
a
actually sing.
really, really talented musician.
I believe, but he destroyed it.
he actually in an interview, because people were like, if you can, after his Tiny Desk, everyone's like, oh my god, you can sing. And then they
Mhm.
were like, well, if you could sing, why do you use autotune? And he said he literally just did it to stand out. He was
Right.
like, I was playing around with the sounds in the studio or whatever he said,
Mhm.
and they threw on a whole bunch of that, and he's like, this sounds fun. And he literally did it so that he would sound different. That's literally why he did it. So that
I did that for
It was-
hours when
it
I
was
first
iconic.
discovered autotune.
Right.
I would sit there for hours and just sing with it and be like, I sound like a little robot. This is fucking great. So I mean, I get it. That's addicting.
You know what's funny is that Cher used it in a song in the 90s, and then when he started using it, Cher tried suing him because it was their patented sound, and
Are
Cher
you
lost.
serious?
And then so T-Pain patented the sound.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Believe is a fire song, but Cher, you can't do
Sit
that.
down, Cher.
Well, her production crew.
Get out,
So,
Cher.
but
Oh,
she
God.
lost, so he patented it, and then every artist that used it had to go through him. He had to mix all the auto tunes of every artist that used it. So he
Guys.
made a lot of money
Wow.
off, and he lives in Tallahassee.
Guys, I'm sorry. I gotta jump off for a second. My maintenance guy just showed up. I gotta take care of something.
Bye,
Me-
Jay.
Bye, Jay. We love you.
And there's a great end.
I suppose there is. I suppose.
We're not still recording, are we? Oh.
There you go.
There it is. All right. Question
Thanks,
answered.
lady.
But we're still live streaming until there you go. Now we're not. That was so hard not to